Well, hello and welcome to my little video all about connectors. These are the connectors we will use in our lab for the wire board. Let's take a look at them a little bit. Each of these connectors, you can see I've got a plug and a jack. You can tell the jack because it's got the holes. This mounts on the wall. This is a plug and jack. We talked about I've got the keyway. I've got a big pin, a couple of small and a couple of small. If I look at it here, there again I've got a large key, a couple of small and a small. I line this large key up with that large key, kind of rotate it a little bit. Once I've got it there, then I turn, and this is what's called a bayonet connection. You want to feel the click. You want to see the little pin in the hole. Again, I've got a plug and a jack. This one's a little different. This jack, the jack is got what we call a jam nut. This nut we put the plug through a bulkhead or a box, and then the nut on the other side, and the nut locks it down. Otherwise, a lot alike. I've got the large key there. Just line them up, turn, and click. Possibly you heard the audible click there. So both sides have plugs and jacks. Notice in here, on this one, the plug is a female, the jack is a male. And on this type, the plug is a male, the jack is the female. This counts the pins by letters, and the letters are printed on here, where I've got for some reason I've got an H here. I'm not quite sure why it counts them this way. And then we can see the same on this side, where we got A, B, so on and so forth going around. This one does the same thing, counts them by letters. Trying to get it where the glare isn't on there. You can't really see, but it's A, B, C going around the outside. We have some accessories on these plugs and jacks. We have a strain relief. This is a clamp. It's got some rubber padding. We tighten it down, these screws, and this holds the wires tight. So as the wires are vibrating out here in the airplane, they're vibrating here, but not in here where the pins are crimped. Same thing on the plug side, the jack side. One of the things we have to do before we can extract pins is we have to pull the back shell off. So we just unscrew them and they come off. You have to do that or you will not get the pins out. So we talked about in class, one of the things that makes working with these a little tricky is all of the part number variations. Let's take a look at these two. This is an MS 3126 plug and an MS 3120 jack. This is the Soyo part number, the proprietary part number. It is 85100 CT12, whatever. Soyo, the plug manufacturer, SOU 85106RC14 12P50. So these are Soyo part numbers. And again, if we look in the Soyo manual, you'll see, so here is my MS and my Soyo. And the Soyo says that it falls under MS, that it's the same as an MS 3126 plug. And sure enough, they made up, and if you look at them there, they match up. And that does get to be a little bit tricky because these items have different numbers And you have to look in the manufacturer's manual to know they're the same. Let's take a look at these plugs a little bit more in detail. So here, take a look at this one. This is the MS 27467T13. It's a female, and this one is a rear release. And on this, so from this plug, this is what the pins look like, or the sockets, I guess, to be more accurate. You can see a color code, orange, green, orange, and then you can see there's a little, right here, there's a little ridge, and that's what actually locks it into the plug. And on the other side, that was the socket side. And if we look at the pin, which goes, in this case, into the jack, we can again see our color code. In this case, it's orange, blue, orange. And again, just a little, it's not real clear, but you can see there's a little bit of a little rib or whatever around here. So these are our rear release contacts. Let's look at the front release and notice the difference. The front release connector had two different sizes of pins in there, a larger size for 16 and 14 gauge wire and a smaller size 18 and 20. It's a lot of the same idea. The pin comes through, and then this shoulder piece, and then here again you can see this little tapered. That's where inside the connector the little locking piece is. Here's how extraction works on the front release pins. We slide the tool over the pin, and it went, I don't know if you can see, but it slides over that little shoulder piece. And then once we do that, we push the plunger, and it pushes the pin out of the back of the connector. For the rear release pins, there are a couple of different types of extractors. These are going to go over the back of the wire. This is the tweezer type. You can see the wire goes through the tweezer. We're going to slide it down in the connector. And again, as we slide it down in the connector, this will slide over and spread those little locks apart.